Olivia Rodrigo just won a Grammy for Best Pop Vocal Album for her new album Sour, Best New Artist, Best Pop Solo Performance for her song Driver's License. In the past, I did do a reaction commentary video on one of her live performances, and many of you have actually reached out to me through Instagram and through YouTube asking for a tutorial, and so I am giving it to you here right now. If you like this tutorial, be sure to hit like, subscribe, send me a comment so that you'll be notified every time I release a new tutorial or a new vocal tip of the week. All right, let's dive in. The original key of this song is B flat major, but many of the live performances by Olivia Rodrigo has her actually performing this song in a lower key, either A major, which is -1, so 1 semitone lower than the original key, and sometimes I've even heard her do A flat major, so that's 2 semitones lower than the original key. This can be quite taxing on the voice if you are not used to belting and hitting some high notes repeatedly. People think that we have to be able to sing the original key in order to sing a song or do it justice, and that's just not true. That's just a completely misguided understanding, to be honest. The key of the song is whatever is comfortable for you and whatever shows off the best parts of your voice and that enables you to sing comfortably. For this tutorial, because I've picked this live performance that Olivia Rodrigo did for the MTV Push performance, she is playing in A major, so I'm just going to follow this key. But again, if you are following this tutorial and you feel like the key is still too high or uncomfortable for you, don't be afraid to change it to A flat. Here we go.
Got my driver's license last week, just like we always talked about.
If you want to retain some of this subtle, like I'm half talking to myself, that kind of feeling, then you want to keep it dynamically pretty low. And one quick way to tap into that lower dynamic, half talking kind of feel is literally just to read out the first line, but read it as if you are reading it to a friend who's right next to you. I got my driver's license last week, just like we always talked about. Now, if I'm singing very close to the microphone, you will hear that I don't need to be any louder than I just spoke. So you can use that as a gauge. So I have a couple of marks here in the lyrics, just so you know where she has taken a breath, but it doesn't mean you can't take more breaths than that. But the strokes that you can see that are in pink, those are the points where she's breathing, and you definitely want to be breathing there for sure at a bare minimum, but you can also sprinkle in more places to take a breath if you need to. There's a 2-note slide there. I got my driver's license last week. Drivers is a little bit long, just like we. There's another 2-note slide on the word we. Just like we always talked about.
'Cause you were so excited for me to finally drive up to your house, but today I drove through the suburbs crying 'cause you weren't around.
2-note slide on the word were, 'cause you were so and then you hold the word so. She does a little bit of a vocal glitch there, a little tiny crackle there. You were so excited. You can totally do that if you want to. For me. Now, even if you don't feel like it, you definitely want to take a breath after for me, because you're going to need that air for the next line. The next line is quite long. To finally drive up to your house, but today I drove through the suburbs. House. There's a little dip on the word house. Drive up to your house, but today, and as you are dipping off of the word house, you go straight into but today.
Crying 'cause you weren't around.
Crying 'cause you weren't. It just makes this nice picture. Let me show you what that sounds like if I don't do that. If I just sang the note straight. Crying 'cause you weren't around. I mean, it's okay. It's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But if you add those couple of notes there, crying 'cause you weren't, and just really kind of flow with that melody line, it really makes it feel like you're going somewhere and your listener actually wants to follow you.
And you're probably with that blonde girl who always made me doubt.
Okay, so a couple of leans here. I call this a lean when you're just giving a little bit of weight just slightly in your phrases like this. And you're probably with that blonde girl who always made me doubt. Like I'm leaning down a little bit just to bring out some of the words and highlight some of the words in a phrase. Next line.
She's so much older than me.
A couple of little cries there as well. She's so much older than me. Holding the word O of older slightly here.
She's everything I'm insecure about.
The phrasing here is special actually because she's singing on the upbeat. Everything I'm insecure about. That part there is on an upbeat. It's in between the beats. So that's why when you listen to it and when you sing it, it almost feels like you're going off beat, but you're not. You're just on the upbeat instead of singing on the downbeat. She's everything I'm insecure about yet today. And then it continues on to the next line there. All right, let's keep listening.
'Cause how could I ever love someone else?
A nice little connection there between the words ever loves. She's not singing ever love someone else. There's nothing going on there if I sing it that way. But if I flow into it, how could I ever love someone else? That helps me to find a nice subtle styling to a phrase without it being so dramatic. We're heading to the first chorus, so let's have a listen.
And I know we aren't perfect, but I've never felt this way for no one.
Okay, so be mindful of your volume. If you're feeling like you're struggling, you need to back off on the volume. Number one is you got to be safe. You only have one voice. Take good care of it. So here's how I would handle this first line. Again, talking about those links, finding those moments where we can link words together. And I know, I would link that. I know, and I know we weren't perfect. I'm flowing into that word or leaning into it. Never, another lean there. Never felt this way. And I let go a little bit and I go into that higher, lighter sound for the word way in this chorus. So I would actually practice the word way first, just so you can mark that out. I call that marking. Way, way, way. Just do that 3 times just to get comfortable with it. When you feel like you have a nice grasp of that sound, it's not heavy, it's not uncomfortable, and you can control it, then it's all about muscle memory. Then I would go for no one. Way, take a breath, for no one. Next line.
And I just can't imagine how you could be so okay now that I'm gone.
And I just can't imagine. Can you hear how I'm leaning in? And I just can't imagine. Again, it's like that ebb and flow. It's like getting in that wave sound in your singing. The word okay, she's getting more connected, more of a solid connection there. If you are a new singer, I would recommend singing it still light as okay, now that I'm gone. You can totally do it that way, which is the same as how you sang this way for no one, keeping it nice and more head tone in quality. But if you want to sing it in a more pressed in way, you got to make sure that you're leaning down into the word and not grabbing up with your throat. So let me show you the difference. If I go, okay, that's my light version, okay, but I'm still I'm dynamically obviously louder, but my energy actually is more pressed down into my body. I'm not doing this, okay. Can you hear how that's me grabbing upwards? You definitely don't want to be doing that. If you feel that you are doing that, then go to the light way. Now that I'm gone. And then she goes light again, this part here.
'Cause you didn't mean what you wrote in that song about me.
This repeated note, you didn't mean what you wrote in that song, right? So those are the same notes that we were just working on, which is the same note as the word felt this way and could be so okay. I would find a comfortable way to sing that, making sure my energy is driving downwards. Again, when I talk about things like leaning or anchoring, flow, these are all concepts that I teach inside my Singers Connect Plus program. So if this is interesting to you and you want to learn more about how I teach students to sing the songs that they want to sing in their own way, just using some of these tools that I'm teaching you here, then do check out my free webinar, 3singingsecrets.com. I just basically teach you my entire system. You can have that for free. And if you are interested in joining us inside the program, then I hope that you will apply to be one of our students as well. Guess you didn't mean mean what you wrote in that song about me. What I'm doing here is I'm just thinking, you, mean, wrote, song. I'm putting my effort there, driving my effort down into those notes, into those words, and then the rest of it, I'm just filling it in, filling in the gaps. Now, the hardest part here is the ending, going from that higher level, higher dynamic level, and then all of a sudden reining it in for this last line. 'Cause you said forever, now I drive alone past your street. It's kind of like riding a horse, right, and then galloping, and then all of a sudden, whoa, I gotta slow it down. As long as you're mentally prepared for that and you're mentally ready for that, you can totally practice this.
And all my friends are tired of hearing how much I miss you, but
So you had a little bit of a little crackle on the word tired, making her voice sound like she's tired, right? It's kind of a nice embellishment. Then she goes, of hearing how much, kind of cute how she does that, of hearing how much I miss you. It's less sing-songy in a way. And then miss you, it's almost like she's talking as well. She's really good at mimicking how you would talk to a friend.
I kind of feel sorry for them, 'cause they'll never know you the way that I do.
You start to hear that flow or that bounce, 'cause they'll never know you the way that I do. It's the ebb and flow of the phrasing.
Yeah, today I drove through the suburbs.
Yeah, today I drove through the suburbs. Suburbs goes up. It's just a little variation. Let's keep going.
And pictured I was driving home to you.
Nice little melodic variation. And pictured I was driving. Again, multi-note, little bounce there. Driving home to you.
And I know we weren't perfect, but I've never felt this way for no one.
Okay, so she does not go light on the word way here. If you feel like you're singing this in a strenuous, strained way, just drop your jaw a little bit, open up, think of the word W-E-H, weh. That may help you to encourage more space as opposed to constricting your throat. I know we weren't perfect, but I've never felt this way for no one. Way for no. So I actually am linking the word for and no into like for no. For no one. Right? Next line.
Oh, and I just...
There's a little bit of a cry. Huh. Kind of like that hitch in the voice. You can practice that a few times, literally cry into it. Oh, and I. Then you can link that to the word and I. So it's not oh, and I. Don't break it up. It's a continuous flow.
Oh, and I just can't imagine how you could be so okay now that I'm gone.
This doesn't go any higher than that C sharp. Okay, so you've been practicing this quite a bit. It's just a case of making sure that you're doing it in a way that your energy is directed down into your body, not in your throat. Here she's going, and I just can't imagine. She's kind of singing it more in that sound as opposed to very fronted. I just can't imagine. She's not going there. Imagine, more open that way. Imagine how you could be so okay. And then she sings it pressed in there. Okay, take a breath. Now that I'm gone. And she has a little bit of a cry just on the tail end of the word gone, like she's about to burst into tears.
Guess you didn't mean what you wrote in that song about me.
Okay, practice those repeated notes. You didn't mean what you wrote in the song about me. Bend up and a slight bend down at the tail end there.
'Cause you said forever, now I drive alone past your street.
Dynamically bigger on that the line before the ending, and then reining it all in. Guess you said forever, now I drive alone past your street. And you can come closer to the microphone when you sing that line too. Two ways that you can sing this bridge here. You can do it how she's doing it, which is red light, stop sign. She's singing up there. Again, that's the C sharp 5, the repeated note that we've been working on all throughout this song so far. But if you are at this point and you're feeling like you may be singing it incorrectly, or you may be using the wrong muscles, or you're feeling vocally tired, I would not recommend you singing in this way. I would actually just sing it an octave lower. Red light, stop signs, I still see your face. And focus on your emotional delivery of the song. You can add embellishments here and there. You can add textural elements in your voice here. Alternatively, bring the entire song lower. Sing the song in A flat, which is what Olivia Rodrigo sang for the Grammys. But with that, if you want to tackle the same what she's doing here, again, just practice that repeated note. Find a nice comfortable way of singing it. Anchor down into your body, not in your throat. Red light, stop signs, I still see your face in the white cars. Take a breath. Front yards. Take a breath here too. Here I think the word places, she actually speeds it up slightly. So she changes the phrasing a little bit. Can't drive past the places we used to go to. Then she takes a breath there, go to, and then last line.
Cause you know I still love you, babe.
Yeah, cause you know, you're accenting on the you know. Cause you know I still love you, babe. She stretches out the word love. Love you, babe. Drop your jaw on the word side. Sidewalks we crossed. I always prefer to, if anything, to drop your jaw, open up this way, kind of think vertically as opposed to horizontally when you are singing notes, especially if they are high. I still hear your voice in the traffic, we're laughing. That's where the sort of flatted notes come in. Instead of going to the C sharp, she's going to the C. Traffic, laughing. Next line.
Over all the noise, God, I'm so blue, no wind through, but you know I still love you, babe.
Over all the noise. Over, you lean into there. Noise, you anchor down. God, I'm so blue, no we're through. You know, the you, that's where you're accenting down to. Expand the word love, draw that out a little bit. You know I still love you, babe.
I know we weren't perfect, but I've never felt this way for no one.
We're bringing it all down dynamically to the same dynamic level that we started off with. Again, it's going back into that almost confidential conversation. And I know we weren't perfect, but I've never felt this way. Take a breath. For no one. She goes up here.
I just can't imagine how you could be so okay.
There's a little bit of a lingering pause there, a slight pause. And I just can't imagine how you could be so okay. And then she takes a breath there.
Now that I'm gone.
Just in case you're wondering, that is an E5, right? So it's E5. That's the highest note that I think we've sung so far. Now, I don't want you to think of this note as high. Right? Remember, the notes are not up there. The notes are still here in your voice. So I feel like it's easier if we trick ourselves. Instead of thinking of the note as up, I think of the note as straight ahead. I'm gone, now that I'm gone. That will actually prevent me from wanting to do something like this. Now that I'm, and then cringing back.
You didn't mean what you wrote in that song about me.
Okay, so here, I'm gonna just take this away so you don't need to see
You
that.
said forever, now I drive alone past your street.
This line here, there's a variation in how she sings it. She does a really nice job here. Wrote in the song about me. When you practice that a few times, then you can string it all together. Guess you didn't mean what you wrote in the song about me.
'Cause you said forever, now I drive alone past your street.
So even though it's understated and it's going back to that quieter tone, she's still doing that flowy, leaning kind of sound. Guess you said forever, now I drive alone past your street.
Yeah, you said forever, now I drive alone past your street.
Again, it's that leaning action or that adding that flow into the phrasing. Yeah, you said forever, now I drive alone past your street. The last three notes there are half talking. All right, we've done it. We sang the entire song. If you want to learn more about how we teach songs like this to our students who range from complete beginners to more experienced singers, then check out my free webinar. You can learn all about my program as well. Go to 3singingsecrets.com, and I hope one day I get to hear your voice inside our Singers Connect Plus program as well. All right, hope you enjoyed this one. Until next time, bye-bye.